So I'm on my morning walk, and yesterday I was journaling about ruts. Essentially, when you're in a rut, you're not being productive, you're doing unproductive habits that you know you should not be doing. You feel that you're not living to your potential, that you're just doing work that does not align with your purpose and is not freeing your consciousness. Essentially, you're not even living. You're you're literally asleep. You're mindlessly scrolling on Instagram, TikTok, watching Netflix, eating junk. You're living as if you're dead. You're mindlessly dead. I know that might sound like an exaggeration, but that's the reality. Your consciousness is asleep. You're degrading your quality of your consciousness through being in a rut. It happens. When you're in self-improvement, you're going to have wasted days. But there's a way you can overcome that. You see that ruts are actually potential sources of energy that you can convert into kinetic energy, and you can use that kinetic energy as momentum. When I was in a rut, it was roughly anywhere between 1 day to 1 week to even months. I've been there. I've been purposeless, directionless. I've times where I felt hopeless. I have genuinely been there, and I know how lonely it can be, how horrible it can be for your mental health, and overall, you feel mindless. You're not mindful. You've degraded your clarity of purpose. You've lost your presence, which is your most valuable asset. I have been there, but I have gotten so much better in overcoming my ruts where I've genuinely seen progress. So what did I do? I identified my hot triggers. For me, it was social media. When I was in a rut, I was constantly scrolling on social media, specifically Instagram, and maybe sometimes reading manga. Then I was self-introspective. Why was I doing this? Why was this the best move on my chessboard? Why did I believe that in the 24 hours I had in my day, why was this the best option of the way I can spend my time to align my life with my purpose? Is this genuinely freeing my consciousness? In 10 years' time, would I reflect back on this moment and look back on pride or disappointment? You have to go really deep when you identify your hot triggers, because when you identify your hot triggers, you're going to you will get pissed off that why are you even doing this habit? Like, genuinely, you might get pissed off, and if you do, good, you should. Because you're using those emotions as sources of energy into work and into getting back on track with your habits that you should be doing, into getting back into the work that realigns with your purpose, work that means a lot to you. That's just a source of energy. What else can you do? You're combining self-introspection and willpower. When you're self-introspective, when I was telling you to journal about what led you to this conclusion, why were you doing, why are you in a rut? Why are you doing these habits? You're also training your willpower at the same time. How? Because the moment you're not actually doing the bad habit, you're actually resisting the temptation to not do it in the first place. Through being self-introspective. You might not realize it, but your willpower is being trained the second you don't do that bad habit. So if you're training your willpower and you're being self-introspective, ideally, you want to be self-introspective in an environment where you can be mindful. When you're mindful, you're able to focus on these deep questions, and it will be much easier for your brain to generate answers that will be genuine and not based off your stuffed up dopamine receptors telling you answers that don't feel genuine to you. Because your lizard brain will tell you a lot of junk, whether you're mindful or mindless. So you have to really be in a mindful environment, or at least train yourself to be mindful, whether it's through breath work, meditation, your drawing. When you're thinking about these questions and when you're being self-introspective, just try to really focus on the questions you're asking yourself and the journal. The more mindful you are, the more self-awareness you have of these bad habits, of this self-introspection that you're doing, so that when you feel that you have a craving or temptation to do the bad habit, you know that you can self-introspect yourself and that your willpower skill is more developed than it was previously, and that you can go through the process of being mindful, questioning yourself, why do you want to do this? And hopefully, no, not hopefully, you will not do that bad habit, and you will choose to do work that means a lot to you. That's what I've done, and I can personally say that I have not been in a rut, a big serious rut, in a while from doing this. I hope this helps anyone in need, anyone who's in a rut, because I know how lonely it can be. I know how self-deprecating you can feel inside of your mind. I know that there's a version of you that you can tap into that's just ultra productive, but it's hard because you know you're not supposed to be doing things, but you're choosing to do them anyway. Like, I get how you feel. I've been in a rut before, and I know how hard it is. But trust me, you can overcome this, and you can use these ruts as potential sources of energy to generate momentum that you can use into realigning your life with your purpose and freeing your consciousness. I hope this helps. Have an amazing day.